Hey peeps, this is Michael here. I've decided to use Facebook as a teaching platform, and in my mentoring group I'm doing some courses, and the one I'm doing there right now is Entering the New Testament. What I want to do on this personal page is Bible study. That's all I want to do. And what I'd like to do, I'm going to begin with what you know is the Gospel of John. Okay, so for the next weeks or months, however long it takes, I just want to do an old-fashioned kind of verse-by-verse exposition of the Gospel of John. We're just going to walk through the Gospel of John together. Some texts there will be more attention paid to, some less, but what I've decided not to do, I've decided not to do some kind of full-blown research into each passage before I comment on it. I thought I would just simply take a lifetime of learning, open up the gospel text, and begin reading this text and sharing in little 20-minute segments some Bible study with you. That doesn't mean, of course, that I won't go dipping into commentaries from time to time as I'm planning, but what I really want to do in this is kind of a video commentary series. I can see doing this for 10 years. Because one of the things that we don't have on the internet, there's a lot of good stuff on the internet, people, and there's so much more garbage out there than you could begin to imagine or think. It's absolutely amazing. So I want to leave you something good. I want to leave you something thoughtful. I want to leave you something to work with. But it is my perspective, so let's own this right up front. What are the tools that I'm going to be using as I engage this text? Obviously, they're multiple. I'm going to be using the historical critical method straight through. I'm going to be using a Barthian approach to the text and revelation. I'm going to be using the insights of mimetic theory of René Girard and the Girardians. I'm going to be using insights from church history. I'm going to be using insights from my own life experience, and occasionally I'll dip into the shamanic. So what you're getting is my commentary on this text doesn't make it the Word of God. So let's get this straight up front. My commentary is not the Word of God. It is just something for you to use as you sit in front of the Gospel of John and reflect on the text. So if you're looking for some major type of exegetical work, you can read my book, The Jesus-Driven Life, Chapter 8. It's all on the Gospel of John. And I'm obviously presupposing that and all the other research I've ever done. So this particular 20-minute talk is just an introduction to some of my thoughts on the Gospel of John. So let's begin at the beginning here. And I want to freely acknowledge that I do not accept the tradition that identifies the author of the Gospel of John with John the son of Zebedee. Now, B.F. Westcott made this particular identification. He thought it was solid. You know, the author was a Jew, the author was a Palestinian Jew, the author was a Galilean, the author was one of the 12 apostles, the author was one of the 3, the author's John. You know, he just narrows it down that way. And for those that want to study the particular tradition, particularly the saying of Papias, the fact is, there is no clear identification of the Apostle John with John the Elder mentioned in Papias. That's an assumption that gets made, and it's not the best of assumptions. Pearson Parker, back in the 1950s or 60s, I forget, wrote an excellent essay in the Journal of Biblical Literature, and he listed out 14 major reasons why there's no way the son of Zebedee could have been the author of the fourth gospel. And partly the son of Zebedee is, quote, unlearned. He's a fisherman. And the writer of the fourth gospel is extraordinarily literate and learned, well off, well-to-do, really educated, highly educated, perhaps alongside Paul, the two most educated writers in the New Testament. And that's what makes their literature so absolutely profound. Excuse me, I have to have a Donald Trump moment. There we go, drinking on camera. Okay. For example, the writer refers to the Sea of Galilee as the Sea of Tiberias.